can stop me. No, you never can stop me. Better get out of the way, you get it, can see someone that you can watch me. There ain't no way you can stop me. No, you never can stop me. Better get out of the way, you get it, can see someone that you can watch me.
Welcome to D and Dre
Let's
Talk.
go.
Listen, this episode today was brought to you by D's new mantra.
Bro, my mind went so many places. Like, I had so many things. I thought you were about to say PBS.
Yes,
I thought you were about to say something that was explicit. You know what I'm saying? You was like, D's. You can't go into it like that. You know what I'm saying?
I know. I'm sorry. I'm having fun.
I didn't even hear what you said. Brought to you by D's what?
Your new mantra.
Oh, yeah. Listen, guys. So, raise your perspective. Ripen up. Y'all be looking for T-shirts coming up. You're going to have to listen to the episode to see what that means. But you want to get on board right now. It's on the grassroots level. Go ahead and donate some money to my fund. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to have a GoFundMe. I'm just playing. I ain't going to do all that. But anyway, we do have a banger of an episode. At the end of the episode, we talked about masculinity versus femininity in a way that you probably won't expect.
Yeah.
I know it's a hot button topic, and I know you're probably getting triggered already, but give us a chance to give our perspective on it and let us know what you think. Write us in the comments. I think you will like it.
Or watch it thinking what you're going to think.
Yeah.
Because, at the end of the day, like, I'm okay with having any discussion at any time. And that's why we do this podcast. We want to have conversations with you and with each other that are going to spark interest, are going to challenge ourselves, and hopefully at the end of it, we'll become better people. We had a lot of fun, though. We talked about Monopoly. And we talked about some participation trophies, man. This episode is full of great content, man. I hope you guys are ready.
Well, I have one question for you.
Okay.
Are you a buggy guy or a cart guy? So, yeah, we talked about that a little bit. So, anyway.
All right, guys. Y'all check it out, man. D and Dre Talk.
All right, man. So, let me just tell you. Let me start off by saying there's something I didn't know, right? So, I went to the grocery store with my kids last night. We went to go get some milk. My kids love milk. I love milk. And I love Lamp. And
milk. You like milk 2% or is it
No. It got to be whole milk.
Whole milk?
Yeah. Like, if you're not drinking whole milk, what are you doing?
Surviving. I'm lactose, so like I can't.
So you don't drink milk at all?
I try not to. Like, like I used to use it in cereal, but I don't eat cereal anymore.
Dang.
So it's like a splash in my oatmeal, maybe.
A splash.
Yeah,
that's what we doing now?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not a milk fan, bro. Like my stomach can't handle it, like
You know what's funny about that is as people, as we grow old, there's probably a lot of stuff that we couldn't handle when we were young, but I think our bodies were a lot more resilient and brand newly tested.
Right.
And when you get older, it's like, all right, bro, I've been on the road for 50 years. I need some new tires. I need an oil change.
Yep.
We just run ourselves through the wringer for too long. And finally, all this stuff that we thought we was good with is catching up with us. Right?
100%.
Yeah.
I don't do milk. I'm sorry. I do chocolate milk. I used to. I used to like chocolate milk a lot. I say used to. I don't drink milk at all right now. But, I did like chocolate milk. But, yeah, I'm sorry. Back to your story. I'm sorry.
Speaking of 100%, I was going to go get 100% milk.
Okay.
Right? Which really isn't 100% whole milk. It's a whole nother thing anyway. So, and right before we walked in to the grocery store, there was this mother and son that were pushing their buggy, and they were going to get ready to. They were leaving the front doors, the side doors, and we're going to go out and roll their cart to the car. And the cart just stopped abruptly, and I was like, "What in the world? What did they hit?" And my daughter was like, "No, they have locks on these buggies." I was like, "What?" And I looked down, and sure enough, there was this red anti-lock brake system on the buggy. And hold on, real quick, do you say buggy or cart?
Oh, it's buggy.
Yeah. Is that the Southern thing?
It's a Southern thing.
Is it a generational thing?
No, it's a Southern thing.
Okay.
Growing up, going to New York, they would say it's a cart. In the South, it was a buggy.
Okay.
And I don't even know what buggy came from, but buggy just feels better to me.
And like when you play in the game, you play punch buggy. You don't play punch cart.
Right. It's not the same thing. Yeah.
Anywho, so I was like, when they start doing that? So my daughter is 11, right? She said, they've always done that. I've always noticed that. I was like, listen, I've been on this earth for 39 years, and I've never seen that. She said, as long as I can remember, in my whole 11, about to be 12 years of existence, I've noticed that they've done that. I said, we used to roll our cart. Matter of fact, I used to roll the cart and just throw it out there somewhere.
Yes,
so first of all, I know every store doesn't do it.
Oh, yeah.
But this particular popular chain, I'm not going to mention them.
Okay.
They had the little red anti-lock brake system on there. I was like, that's brand new. She said, no, it's always been like that for years. Have you ever noticed that?
I've never seen that before in my life, and I don't know why you're not mentioning the people which store you was at. That's fine. Because the stores that I go to,
yeah,
you know,
It was the beef people. I can say that.
I know it was. Well,
Okay.
I knew it was Winn Dixie.
Okay,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I knew it. I knew it the whole time.
Okay.
Because like nothing else makes sense. All right.
Why you say that?
Because even though I hate Walmart, can't stand it at all. I've seen their carts before. I've never seen that before.
Right.
And you said it's always been that way. So that's because that.
Okay.
So it can't be Walmart.
Okay.
It's not Costco because you know what I'm saying I'm a very frequent Costco member. You know, part of that membership. It's not Publix because I've been to Publix. You know, because they got the best fruit.
And it's a lot brighter in there too. It's a better mood.
I don't know what they use LED lights or something.
Is that what it is?
I don't know.
What does Winn Dixie use? Fluorescent
LED. I used to, a friend of mine like did their work for them, and they do use LED lights.
You used to work for Winn Dixie too, though, didn't you?
I did. My first job ever as a taxpayer was was Winn Dixie.
Okay.
I was a bagger for like a week, and then they put me behind the cashier thing. I had to take a test to do that.
Lady.
Oh, I see you, Erykah Badu.
You gonna lose your stuff.
So yeah, I didn't know they had. I guess I didn't know that the B people had.
Yeah, it blew my mind, bro.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I was like, hold on. First of all, how many people try to steal carts other than homeless people? And I think they probably give homeless people buggies because you see them like ain't nobody trying to stop them.
They stole them, but they don't hand them away. They do.
Okay,
but at the end of the day, like, I mean, they have different methods to stop that. You know, at different stores.
What you mean?
Like I was in, I used to do on my bread route when I had the bread route.
Yeah, I remember that.
I went to certain stores where they had, like, I don't know, they're like magnets on the thing, so you couldn't take them too far or whatever. Yeah, they've been really creative in how to keep their buggies close to them. So I mean, I don't know, like I don't know what the like how to I don't know how to prevent it because people gonna take what they want.
Well, my favorite one in that vein is the people that put like the long PVC
the
pipes,
long pipe on the thing,
so you can't get out the door with it.
Yeah. Seen that before as well.
That's
I mean,
creative.
whatever preventative measure you need to use to keep your buggy / cart, you know, from being taken from the store. 'Cause you can't keep buying those. You know what I mean? So,
well, that was, you know,
even though I think you need to though, because like,
okay,
people leave carts. Can we talk? Why don't they take the buggy back to the?
Hold on, this sounds like Dre got something.
No,
to
it's
say.
not. It's not.
Okay.
It's just I'm concerned.
Okay.
About the lack of ability to do something that takes a couple seconds. You know what I'm saying? Like and it's because when I go to that chain that I don't like, the carts are everywhere, like all throughout the place. Even when I go to Costco, they don't put them in. They don't take a couple steps, go to the buggy carry area and put them there. So like, you know, people get their cars hit and stuff like that. I just feel like it's like, how much in a rush are we? Like they speed up the process for as much as possible. They got self checkout. You can get everything done yourself. You ain't got to worry about nothing. And the buggies, like you could. I mean, how hard is it to take the cart from your car when you unload it and take it a couple steps over to the?
Well, I don't think it's a laziness thing. I think it's a condition type of thing. People just don't care. It's not even about. It's apathy, is what it is. People just don't care. It's the same thing when people drop food or leave their food on the ground at a movie theater. It's like, somebody paid to clean that up. People just don't care. I'm like, okay, somebody's going to put the cart back. Somebody's going to clean up this food at the movie theater. But that don't mean you got to be an asshole about it, right?
Yeah.
Like, what in the world?
I clean up after myself everywhere I go.
Yeah.
Even in the movie theater, I can't help it. Like when I go to restaurants, like I'll prepare the plate so it's easier to pick up for the server.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Like I can't help myself when it comes to that. But if popcorn's on the ground, I mean, they got brooms. You know what I'm saying? Like they got brooms and a dustpan they carry around. Like that's I expect them to have.
Yeah, but the philosophy of it, you know, if I drop some popcorn on the ground, I'm gonna pick it up.
What?
Yeah,
that's where I draw the line. Like, cause it's just too much, man. Cause the popcorn, like, we step on popcorn, it gets all in like the corn. It's just too much.
That's what I'm saying. I'm gonna pick it up.
If you give me I tell you what. If they put the broom in the aisle, I'm gonna wait to the end of the movie anyway. So you know what I'm saying? Because I'm watching Marvel movies and stuff like that. So I'm gonna wait till the credits over with. So I don't mind helping out. You know what I mean?
You're gonna stay till the lights come on.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, we leave the light on
every time, every single time.
So you saying if there was a broom at the end of every aisle, or maybe one broom, you would sweep?
Yeah, I would.
Really?
That's not a problem. This is my area. I'm not about to go through. like, you know how they have it set up where you have the aisle,
Mm-hmm.
and then, you know, you go up a couple steps and there's another aisle. I'll clean my aisle,
Okay.
but that's as far as I'm
The
willing to
whole.
go. Yeah, I don't mind doing
So
that.
check this out. You know the reason why they don't do it?
What are you gonna say?
Well, here's the thing. This is what's wrong with. I'm just gonna say America because I'm an American.
Okay.
Right? Is
Merc, got it.
America? What the reason why they don't do it is probably people will use it as a weapon, and then they end
Ooh,
up suing.
you know what?
See what I'm saying?
You right.
Or
You right.
or hold on, even worse than that, right? Y'all check this out, and y'all know who y'all are. You know, I ain't gonna call no names, Rebecca. Anyway, but what would happen was somebody gonna trip over one because somebody not gonna put it back where it's supposed to be, and they gonna end up suing the movie theater.
Yeah, Rebecca.
And they gonna probably win.
Yeah, they probably win that
You
case.
know?
You're right.
So-
They can't do that.
So
The weapon thing makes sense because people talking during movies like, like, what are you doing? Please. Oh my
man.
goodness.
But
man.
that's where we are as Americans right now. You know, and there are professional suers out there.
Yes.
Like
yes.
there are people. I know some people personally that get hired at a job just so they can sue the company and make $10,000 and then go on to the next one. You do that a couple of times, you above the poverty level, and you've only worked 5 hours out of the year.
So,
bro, that's crazy. I respect the game, but come on, man, you messing it up for a whole lot of people.
That's just so mean.
It's entrepreneur's at its best.
Yes,
you know, you got to monetize everything. I don't know.
I can't do that. Speaking of,
that was my weekend.
Let me tell you about my day yesterday. I went to the house early, and we had Monopoly Monday. Oh yeah. So first of all, y'all gotta know I love Monopoly. We love Monopoly. The game has been. He thinks he does it in real life, kind of, but he does. So the game Monopoly is a game we play, you know, in our college years, I guess, and you know, even before that, obviously, but we played it a lot. And when I bring people to Monopoly to play Monopoly, we do it a little bit different. Okay. So I have this huge, like, custom Monopoly board. If you've seen our reaction channel, you've seen it in the background a couple of times, probably, right? So I pull out that big board and we put on this huge table, a poker table, a huge table, and we don't play with the money in the game. We use poker chips.
That's nice.
So it's, you know, it's easier to handle and throw and whatever,
so
and it's
tokens?
easy to see where somebody's at.
They're using tokens?
Tokens, what do you mean?
So like NFTs, tokens, Bitcoin, you know what I'm saying? So
that's
it started in Monopoly.
It started in Monopoly. Well done. I like that.
Okay,
so
thank you.
but the thing about it is, so it's easier, it flows better, the game is just, it feels a lot different. But the reason why I love Monopoly is because you get to see how people react to certain situations.
Okay.
And if they're fight or flight, if they're going to negotiate properly, what deals they're going to make and what deals they're not going to make. And the first time I play Monopoly with somebody, it's my favorite time every time because I want to see how they react to,
because they're not exposed to the way that we play
the way we
Monopoly.
Play. Exactly.
Yeah.
So
tell me about how it went yesterday.
Oh, yesterday I played with Iceman and Punchline.
Okay.
And
two of your roommates.
Two of my roommates and our friend Money Mike, right?
Okay.
So Money Mike is he's from New York and he's friends with Iceman. And he's friends with Punchline. And that's how I met him, and good guy, right? So they're hanging out, and he looking at the Monopoly board, all impressed. I was like, "Oh, let me show you how we do it." And then we get into the game. I ended up winning, but basically the negotiation part is pretty much how it happened. Like you know what I mean? Like Iceman had the most properties.
Okay.
Going in, like he was cleaning up, and I was the first one to get a Monopoly. I had the Baltic and Mediterranean. I had the hood, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And I gentrified the hood and put some hotels in that thing as soon as I could, you know what I'm saying? So so I had the hood locked up, and I was the only one with a Monopoly for a long period of time. And then I got lucky roll of the dice, got some situations where I started getting some leverage, and I started using that leverage to give other people opportunities to get their own Monopolies.
Okay.
As long as I get something in return, right? Okay. And the deals I started to make always benefited the person, but greatly benefited myself. And Matt, I'm sorry, Punchline. So Punchline, he was not willing to negotiate unless he got the deal that he wanted.
That's fair.
And that's fine for him, right? Except if you don't take the deal that I'm offering you, somebody else will. I gave him an opportunity once I acquired the other corner.
Okay. So hold on. So you already had the brown.
I had the brown.
Mediterranean and Baltic. Okay.
I also acquired Park Place and Boardwalk.
Oh, wow.
And I got that in the trade from Iceman. But
so that little corner was every time I come around your city, bling, bling.
Yeah,
Every time you come around that corner.
Every time.
Okay.
So that's how it was. I was like, hey, man, listen, man, I'll give you. I was like, I know you need to get in the game. I know you need Monopoly. And I'll give that to you if, you give me the piece that I want. Right?
Okay.
And I was like, and I'll take it a step further. If you make this trade with me, I will give you one opportunity to land on Park Place or Boardwalk for free.
Either or, not both. One time. Okay.
One time.
Both one time.
You can land on Boardwalk. You can land on Park Place one time.
Yeah.
And he didn't take the deal. And the reason why he didn't take the deal is because he didn't like the language that I gave or the deal that I made with Iceman earlier. I told Iceman, hey, listen, man, if me and you are the only ones with monopolies right now, I'll go a step further for you. This whole corner right here that I got on lock, you can come through there anytime you want for free. Lifetime, around the board.
Dang.
As long as we're playing this game today,
yeah,
you rent free right now.
Okay.
You doing your thing. So that's a great deal. So I guess I know Punchline wanted the same deal that I gave Iceman.
Okay. So
But
he felt that he should have that same privilege.
Yep.
Okay.
And
Monopoly is a lot like life, but go ahead. Yeah.
But so he felt like he should get the same thing. And because of that, he was like, well, no, I'm not doing that. I'm like, why are you caring about his deal? This ain't about him. This is about us. It's about what we talking about. And he was stubborn enough to do his own thing.
So when it came to his turn to negotiate with you.
Let me tell you what he did.
Okay.
You led me right to the next point. When
Okay.
it came to his turn to negotiate with me, once you have the dice in your hand, you can negotiate, right?
Yeah.
Once he got the dice in his hand, he mortgaged every property he had except for the monopoly he ended up obtaining, so he could spend all his money on developing his properties and putting hotels on everything. And he was basically saying, I'm turning all of this off and I'm not negotiating with none of y'all.
Wow. So that dude drew a hard line and saying, took his basketball and went home.
Yes, and said basically like my goal for the rest of this game is to go to jail and stay in jail as long as I can, so I don't have to, I don't have to play y'all's game because you're not willing to work with me the way I want y'all to work with me. Very stubborn, very, very, and it worked for him for like a round.
Hold on real quick. Let me cut you off. Which property did he have a monopoly on?
The light blue.
Okay.
Like Connecticut.
Yeah.
Vermont.
And the other one, I can't remember at the time.
I can't think of it right now.
Okay, it'll come to me. State. Nope, not states. No. That's pink. Anyway, it'll come to me.
Yeah, it's okay. Anyway, so he had the light blue. So it was easy to develop. But like, it was like, dude, like, that's not going to save you, man.
Yeah.
I don't know if you realize that, to unmortgage that you got to pay that price plus 10%. So, like, you're not going to do that because you're selling yourself out on this property and you think you're going to make all your money on that. If I give you $300 for this property for landing on it, that'll last you for half a round. Like, because once you land on mine one time, you done.
So what ended up happening?
Oh, he was the first one to go out.
No way.
Yes, he was.
Okay, so this is the importance of diversifying your portfolio. You can't put all your eggs in one basket because 2008 come around.
Oh yeah,
and you done, right?
Yeah.
So you got to have a diversified portfolio, so you make sure you got multiple streams of income, not just from one neighborhood.
Yep.
Right.
Correct.
And he learned the hard way.
He had to learn the hard way.
And he was in jail.
Yeah. Most of the time,
he wanted to go to jail.
He was excited. He was like, pumping his fist every time he went to jail.
Yeah.
I was like, dude,
dang.
Like,
we might have to have a talk with him.
I mean, but like, I make fun of him because like, I'm like, man, okay, this is how you think life should go, huh? Like, it's like you're not gonna win.
Say it plain,
you're not gonna win every negotiation, man. You're not gonna life is not gonna give it to you the way you expect it. You got to learn how to adjust and adapt at all times. And just because I make some deal with this guy doesn't mean you get the same opportunity or the same deal.
That's good.
You got to take what you get and you can parlay that into something different with somebody else.
Yeah.
But if you don't take anything that anybody's giving you because you want it your way and you're being stubborn, then what could happen to you could be detrimental to your
and
health.
That's the thing, man. It's a really important lesson in there is opportunities are just that. They're opportunities. They're not rights. They're not guaranteed.
Nope.
There's some things that happen in life that we have a small window of time to act on. And you use that time to do your due diligence, to calculate, to weigh the options. You talk to other people, and then you take action. you can't just pass up on everything because it's not perfect. Good deals are not found; they're made.
Exactly.
Right. And then what you do with that, you can go and you can multiply, you can diversify, you can do all kinds of stuff with it. But make sure you secure the bag first.
Yes.
You can't just say I'm taking my basketball and leaving because it's my way or the highway. That's not the type of world we live in.
It's not.
You know. So, man.
Monopoly is like life, and that's why I like playing it because people will find out real quick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I tell them, I'm like, yo, it's gonna be hard to beat me in Monopoly.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even I was like, and I told him like, he's like, nah, man, you just got lucky with the rolls. Like, all right, listen, if me and you are in the opposite roles where you're landing on the right properties and everything like that, I guarantee you, it's gonna feel a lot different when I'm in your shoes. Because I'm gonna handle the situation differently. Because when I face adversity, I handle it the way I handle it.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing about that game is like, it teaches you how to like work with people and how to, manipulate people and all the above. I would say this though, my family don't like playing any board game with me. Like they turn themselves off. Like they like, nah, don't listen to him. Like they'll be telling other people, like, I know he sound what he know what he's talking about, but he using you. I'm like, what? Like,
Dang.
I can't play any game with them.
Yeah.
Like we play Mafia, where you gotta close your eyes and all that. I gotta be a narrator because they gonna kill me immediately when the game starts.
But
because
if you know that, can you use that to your advantage?
I try, but it's hard. Like it's very difficult. They're like, man, you know what? I know what he said make a lot of sense, and there's no other reason for him to call himself the nurse. So,
or the angel, or whatever,
or the angel, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
So he probably telling the truth, but we gonna kill him anyway.
Dang.
And just live without the nurse.
You're
or the
too much
angel
of a threat.
I know that's the thing. It's terrible, man. But like even in Monopoly too, like don't play no games with him because like he gonna get frustrated because you ain't listening to him. Like no, like you could just like play the game and listen or. They just turn me off. It's frustrating. I'm just like, well, you know what?
Yeah.
So now it's like I play the game, but I'm not even interested in it. Even though I'm like my brain is excited, I'm just like, yeah. Sure.
So you got to play the game within the game.
Yes, I have to. I have to become not a threat to them, so they can but the whole time they're like they watching me like, what is he doing?
Yeah.
What's he coming up with? What is he scheming? I could be doing everything. By the book, being nice and being cordial and just teaching somebody how to play the game. Don't listen to them. Like
right.
I just told them how to play. Like I'm not
like you holding on to feelings from past games.
Oh my goodness.
You getting historical. You can't do that.
That's how they do.
So two things real quick. I mentioned this in an earlier podcast, but the best deal I ever negotiated in Monopoly was a lifetime deal where I was getting ready to go out. I was already on. The wheels were coming off, and I told this guy, I said, hey, and a matter of fact, it was Mr. Party all the time.
Mr. Party all the time.
And I said, hey, I will give you all of my stuff. But in return, you have to give me 25% of whatever you make in perpetuity forever. So anytime, if we play this game 20 years down the road, you still got to give me 25% of everything you made. He was like, deal. I won that.
You lost the game, but you won the war. Like that. Like I'm never playing Monopoly with him. I mean, by the way, when we played that time, I won again. By the way, and he lost, even though he gave all this. I mean, like how man, it's a game of life.
You gotta learn how to manage your stuff.
Yeah,
man.
But yeah, you are very convincing. I don't know how you convince somebody to give you like their lifetime of game.
Bro,
like what in the world is that?
I pretty much bought 25% equity of his life.
That's crazy.
In Monopoly.
I mean,
that's a great return on my investment.
I don't know. I shouldn't. You shouldn't. It is. I can't hate the. You can hate me, but you get no hate back. That's the line that my man Bizzle, shout out to Bizzle.
Okay.
Says, but so you get no hate back from me. You can hate me, you get no hate back. So I respect the hustle.
Well, listen, like another great rapper said, you can hate me now, but he say, but I won't stop now. And then he say, because I can't stop now. And he finished by saying, you can hate me now. Anyway, so man, I've seen so many families, friends, loved ones, acquaintances in their relationship or put a big wedge in because of board games.
Board games are like very influential in my family. And I've watched people who are family and friends become enemies for real over some board games. I remember playing a board game when I was a kid, and I think I was probably in high school. I was probably like early high school, and basically I felt cheated, and no one would listen to me and listen to my argument. And I'm gonna give you all the details. I'm gonna tell you exactly why, what happened. I'm gonna give you the evidence. You know what I mean? I'm playing Clue when I'm playing any other game. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm always trying to figure things out. And once I know, I have my monologue ready to go, and I'm ready to give it to you. They weren't listening to none of that.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember not being able to drive at the time because I had to be like 13, 14.
Okay.
And I remember leaving to walk home. Like, I was at a friend's house that was not in the neighborhood that I was in. I'm talking about like a very long way away from home. I was like, man, I'm done with this. I decided to walk home because I wasn't being heard.
These board games bring out the worst in people. You see it's something about being competitive and that will to win that just brings out the worst in people sometimes.
Is it the worst? I like it though.
Well, no, here's the thing. It's one thing about being a sore loser, but it's worse to be a sore winner, a bad winner.
Oh yeah, that's the worst.
A real thing.
That's the worst.
Right?
That's the worst. I don't like, personally, I hate to lose. I don't really care about winning. Winning is like, all right, I'm okay.
Okay.
But if I lose, I'm trying to, I don't like that. And I know that's not necessarily good to be around when you playing board games, but that's how I look at it. Like, I'm like, I can't help it. I don't know why I'm built this way. I think it's like from me playing sports.
Yeah.
Like, being the best and winning and succeeding was important to me. So it carries over somewhat into board games.
Yeah.
As long as it's fair, though, I don't mind losing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if it's unfair, then I'm like, nah, I will not go down like this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't help myself. But
no one makes me bleed my own blood. Here's the thing. With me, when it comes to losing, it depends on how I lose.
Yeah.
There are some times where I just flat out get outplayed. Then it's like, okay, respect. You did that. I need to level up. But
I like that.
If I lose because something that I neglected to do or an oversight on my part or a lack of preparation, then I'm upset with myself.
Yeah.
And then you deserve all the spoils of what winning brings to you if you because you took advantage. And that's all part of it. All is fair in sports and games and competition, love and war and everything. So, there is place for being petty and for bragging and stuff. That all to the victor go the spoils. That's all part of it. You have that privilege. You have that right. But just don't do it. Don't rub it in, right?
Oh,
like, y'all start making it personal. And that's why I say, like, you can be a bad winner.
Yes.
Like, people start making stuff personal. It's like months down the road. Remember that one time where I ran to Boston on y'all, or something crazy when I skunched you and I housed you in Madden. Like, come on, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? So,
I mean, there's respect to people who win. I give you the love. That's fine. But like when we play spades all the time growing up, and we won a lot. And I don't think we ever we never rubbed in people's faces.
Yeah,
we laughed about certain situations, but I don't think we were just like bad winners
because we don't need that.
It's like like I love, but like I want to. Did we tell the stories about playing spades back in the day?
I don't even know, man.
So I'm gonna go ahead and go into a little bit of it. So we used to play spades with like some older people. Like, when I say older people, I mean like they were seasoned. They late 40s, early 50s, and we were in high school, and we would go to their house and play spades and hang out and listen to old school music and just jam out. Times. And it was like that was their thing. They did on their own, like every Tuesday night or whatever it was. And we would go to our practice, do our thing, and then go over there to their house and play spades and hang out. And like it was competitive.
Yeah.
And I felt like we were welcomed into the old folks club. Like, you know what I mean? Like we weren't just kids anymore. We got to sit at the big boy table.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they talked a lot of trash at first.
Yeah.
Until they realized that these young guys could play.
So many great stories came out of that.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, with games and like you said, with Monopoly, it's a roll of the dice and things happen with, one tick at a time. The dice can roll this way, can roll that way. One word can alter the way someone thinks about you negotiating, and the whole course of the game can, it's life is unfair. There's, I talked about it before. There's no such thing as a fair thing. You get what you get, and a lot of times you get what you deserve.
Right.
And sometimes if grace allows it, we get what we don't deserve. Yeah. Right. So, but on that note, I was talking to a friend of mine, and she was telling me that she had orchestrated this event where people had a baking contest.
A baking contest?
Baking contest. Okay. And it was like a homeschool group.
Okay.
And there were probably about 12 participants, right? And they had 8 awards.
Okay.
So they trying to, so
8 awards
yeah.
for 12 people.
Yeah, I know. I'm getting to it. So they had different types of awards because and different categories of awards because they didn't want one person wrapping up all of it. So you could have the most creative, the best tasting,
all right,
and all these other things that I can't remember right now. So when the dust settled, when everything was said and clear, 8 people got awards, right? So hold on. That's not the problem. That's cool. Okay, I get that. It incentivizes people to be creative and be themselves.
I get it.
Right. So this one particular parent came to my friend, the event coordinator, and said, hey, my child didn't get an award. She said, we gave out 8 awards. Your child did a great job, but didn't quite qualify. So this lady got upset, went off on my friend, and took it overhead to go talk to like a director or did everything but write her local governor and was like, my child deserves an award.
Yeah,
so then that's why the reason why I'm saying that story is because I think people have it misconstrued and think that we should live in a everybody, what is it? Everybody a participation trophy type of world. And I think participation trophy types of worlds are bad for society.
I agree.
Okay.
So
let's talk about it.
I'm gonna go into this a little bit. Those of you who do not know, I've coached high school athletics for 15 years, and I've been a head coach for a couple different sports or whatnot. But I was when I was the basketball head coach at the school that I was in Jacksonville. I had a situation where we had superlative awards. Most improved, best overall, or MVP or whatever.
6-man.
Yeah, whatever, all that stuff, right? And I had a parent feel like their child should have won an award.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of coming to talk to me, the head coach, they went over my head and went to the founder of the school.
Oh, not the AD, not the athletic director.
Over that to the founder of the school.
Okay.
And complained that their child didn't get an award.
And they mad at you.
They mad at me because they thought that I should have given this person an award.
Wow.
They thought that I didn't like their kid because, their role on the team wasn't what they wanted it to be and stuff like that. And I was like, what? Like, we had like an award ceremony and like everybody was happy and celebrating. We had a great year that year. And that was the issue. And I was like, okay. So, I had to humble myself a little bit because I don't want to like say everything I'm really thinking.
Right.
But we handled the situation best we could and we got past it. But the participation trophy culture, I don't know. I think I blame trophy people. Like, they make too many. Like, what are we doing? Like, first of all, you telling the story, 8 people get out of 12. That's probably not a good scenario. You want like 3 out of 12. You want to make sure it's like, it's got to be an award you aim for. Like when we were in school or we played ball, even like, in early years, play baseball or whatever growing up, you had to earn the trophy. Just participating in the game doesn't get you anything. It might get you like a ribbon or like a medallion or something like that.
Right.
But a trophy?
Yeah.
Like it was a lot of hard work and dedication that went into getting a trophy. Like, so to me, like, trophies are like, that's the reward, that's the end goal, that's the thing, that's the prize at the end of the tunnel, right? You don't get it just for being there. Like, you don't just show them like, I'm gonna come get this trophy. No, you got to go earn that trophy. Right. I have trophies in my place, and you see them when you walk in, and you see all the different trophies we got. Those were all earned. They didn't just give me that for showing up. I didn't pay my fee to get to the tournament and it showed up with my basketball team and being like, all right, guys, thanks for showing up. Here's a trophy to go. Like, no, like, you earn a trophy. You may be given like a, hey man, thanks for coming. Here's a gift basket. Here's
consolation prize.
Here's a nice little thing for you. We really appreciate you showing up.
Yeah.
You guys did a great showing, whatever. But like, earning something that's special, winning a trophy, you don't give a, like, whenever you watch like the college football playoff or whatever, they give a trophy at the end of that. Yeah. They don't, the people who lose, you don't get anything.
Right.
You just don't. Hey man, good season though. Like,
yeah. Try again next year.
I mean,
so let me ask you this then, Dre. So the child that did not receive an award, how did they feel?
That's a very good question. They were upset.
Okay.
They were disappointed. But
disappointed in what? Themselves or the whole process?
No.
Was the parent way more upset than the child?
Way more upset than the child.
Yeah.
Like, way more.
So
and that's the thing. Like, most of the time it's always the parent wants to, because they want the child to feel validated, and they feel like without this trophy, the child feels like
you're getting into it now.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They feel like the child doesn't feel like they, are, loved or full or whole or whatever. You know what I mean? They feel inadequate. They feel like they're not enough because they don't get this award or whatever. But ultimately, like, that's killing the spirit of the entire thing. If you just go, you know what, just to make sure everybody feels good, we'll just give everybody, like, you can give them something.
Yeah.
But a trophy?
That's equivalent to giving everybody a degree that enrolls in college.
Bro.
So now we got doctors out here that's performing botching surgeries.
Yeah, let's see how that goes.
Right, yeah, let's see how that goes. So here's the thing. What the parent is trying to communicate during that time, like you said, you brought up the word validation, is that their child is important.
Right.
That their child is special and everything. But what they're communicating louder than that is you don't have to try hard to earn things. And that makes us weak as a society. It actually hurts us. Yeah. We go backwards when that happens, right? And here's the other thing. Do you want your child receiving validation from a sport? From something that they do, or for who they are and what they stand for?
Oh yeah.
So here's the thing. Above all of that, I think what spoke louder than all of that was the person watching their parent go so hard for something so ridiculous and not showing them how to get up off of that. Like, if you get knocked down the horse, you got to get up again, right? Not showing them how to fight back, not showing them how to get better. Like, there's so many things that you learn from loss. That's when you learn. Yeah. It's like hedging your bets, right?
Yeah.
So when you hedge your bets, you put $10 in there, you lose. You put $30 in the next, you lose. You put $90 in the next, and you hoping that you hoping that you lose, because the more that you lose, the more profitability that you can make potentially, right? So these losses are lessons, and I'm thankful for losses. So I talk about all the time with my son, when he's throwing interceptions playing flag football, when he loses in chess, some of his greatest life lessons didn't come from me validating him when he did a good job or even when he did a bad job. It's from him feeling and accepting that pain, examining it. So we just got finished reacting to NF video, and and long story short, he was playing the good version of him and the bad version of him, and then the bad version was talking trash to him and knocked him down into a dark place. When he got down to that dark place, he was able to walk around and explore who he was, how he was in that dark place, and then as a result, he saw that he didn't want to stay there. He didn't like that version of himself, but he learned that by going through it. Yep. Somebody didn't come and rescue him really quick. Like, you too special to be dirty. You too special to be down here. You have to let people live life and go through stuff, because if you don't go through nothing, then you can't get through nothing.
Yes.
Right?
You don't. That's good.
That's the thing right there. So like, I'm so upset and frustrated at this lady for taking that line. How about take that same energy and speak into your child's life, so next time they can come back and be stronger and be better. Right?
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. We got to do better as parents.
I agree with that 100%. Yeah. And I think that's why I'm not going to blame I'm not going to blame the whole generation's inability to conquer, like, their fears or their struggles on that. Right. But it does contribute to that.
It does.
I think that, like, this generation is a very broken generation, because they haven't really had the opportunity to go through things and learn to adjust and learn to develop and learn to struggle with something and overcome. Those things are important for everybody to go through.
Absolutely.
I think playing sports did that for me, for sure. It taught me a lot about how to be a man. It taught me a lot about how to overcome adversity. It taught me a lot about how to work with people who are not like me. Yeah. And I cherish those things, because it makes me a better person overall. And I think ultimately, like, everything that we go through is helping us become who we are. And I think that if you don't allow your child to go through things, then how do you do that? And I'm not a parent, and I understand that. I've coached for a long time, and I've worked with a lot of kids, and these kids are my world. I love all of them. I've been to their weddings. I've seen their first kids. I've been involved in their lives, and I'm still involved, as much as I can be. And I'm thankful that, all of you guys are still letting me be a part of your lives and everything like that. And all the lessons that I've taught you, you've carried, and you've become better men than I ever could imagine. I'm proud of all of you, seriously. Yeah. But I watch you raise your kids, and that gives me hope, because I think that, you have the right attitude when it comes to this. You say all the time, I'm not raising children, I'm raising young adults, or something, and you're teaching them how to learn and how to reason and how to figure things out. and all the things that they need to be equipped to be successful in life when you're not around.
Right. That's it.
And I think that's what it's about, man. I think that's what it's all about.
And I'm hardcore about it. There were many years I would be teaching Sunday school, and we would have these games, and we would have awards.
I was
in
there,
Sunday
man.
school.
We was together.
Right. We would play all this stuff,
Yeah.
and you in Sunday school, you expect everybody to get a piece of candy. But I didn't care. I believe in it so much that if you didn't win the game, even if you were in Sunday school, they'll be like, "Hey, can I have a piece of candy instead?" It's still nope. Sorry, nope. You can't. You got to earn it, right?
Yeah.
So here's the thing that's interesting, something to think about. So they say, I'm gonna say that because I don't know if it's proven or not, but they say that when you look in the mirror, you appear to be 5 times more attractive to yourself, and when you look in the mirror, than what people view you as, right? Wow. That's a real thing.
What?
So when you look in the mirror, you see a better version of even though people see themselves in the mirror, they see flaws and stuff like that. Even still, when you look at yourself in the mirror, you appear to be a better version of yourself cosmetically than what you really are, right? That's why, so real quick, that's why a lot of times when people see themselves or hear themselves on camera for the first time, it's like, oh, that's what I sound like? Oh, that's what I hate this about myself. You know what I'm saying? Type of thing. So you feel me, right?
Can't stand
but
that.
check this out. So this is, so that's just you looking at yourself, right? Thank God for people like you that did not give this child a participation trophy. Thank God for hard coaches that I had playing in high school and college that chewed me out, telling me the truth about myself, even though it brought me to tears, but they told me the truth. They showed me stuff that I didn't see about myself, right? Because we don't see ourselves the same way that everybody else sees us. And if everybody is seeing something the same way, like most of the time it's true. Like, D, you can't see what the back of your head looks like. D, you can't see this, you can't see that. And you telling me this negative stuff, the things that I can't see or don't notice about myself, it may hurt my feelings, but sometimes it's what I need to help me grow. Because a lot of times we just emphasize working in on our strengths instead of trying to. So one of my good friends told me this great analogy. He said, anytime you're going somewhere, think about it as you being in a boat.
Okay.
And the most important thing, like if you're trying to get from destination A to destination B, is you want to make sure you stay afloat and you keep paddling and you keep going. So if you have a hole in your boat, but you have a destination to get to, and it's like, I know I got a hole in my boat, but let me just keep paddling faster and faster because that's what I'm good at. I can get there. That's not what is important at the time. You might be a champion paddler, but if you have a hole in your boat, you ain't going too far. So it's best to take the time to patch the holes in your boat so that you can do what you need to do. So let people speak into your life. It's very important that people learn how to accept constructive criticism. And one of my favorite verses that I always talk about is, my boundaries are placed in pleasant places. Let me know what my limitations are. Let me know what my jurisdiction is. Right. So that once I know, then I can expand, right? And I can enlarge my territory.
I think the reason why it's difficult for people to do that is they don't trust anyone.
That's a good point, though.
Right? So they don't trust anybody. So how
reason.
And they've been burned, they've been hurt. They've seen things that makes them feel like, well, I want to be careful with this, I want to be careful with that. And it's hard. And when you don't trust anybody and you don't allow people to speak into your life, you're going to develop problems down the line because you're not fixing issues that aren't being touched. Because you know what I'm saying? Like, because you close people off. So like it's difficult, but I understand why. Yeah. I don't trust people very much at all. But I know to let people speak into my life because I know that they have a view that I don't get to have. They see things that I don't see. And it's difficult for most people to do that, but I'm telling you, it's best to just find people who you trust to speak into your life, because they're going to point things out that you're never going to see, and they're going to help you be better in the long run. Because if you don't do that, and you're going to sound and be extremely defensive, you're gonna never be the problem. You're going to always blame somebody else, and you're not going to find solutions. You're going to find more issues and more problems and more drama. I don't think that's the way to live. I mean, a lot of young people today, young people I deal with, coaching and working with people, that's what I see the most of. Yeah. Extremely defensive. They think they know more. They think they know better. And they don't trust you to give instruction for the right reasons. I've had to almost coerce them into understanding my role. And once they understand my role and what I'm doing, it doesn't come across the same way. Right. You know what I mean? Right. I think I told you earlier today. That's good. Like, once they know, like, hey, look, man, I'm here to help you. All right. So if you have any questions, you have anything you need, I got you. Because I have a different perspective. I have experience, and I have a different view on this. And because of my experience and because of my view on this, I can speak to things that you don't even know about yet.
Mm-hmm.
And I can show you things that are going to happen before they even happen, so you can be prepared to get through those things.
That's awesome.
And like that's how I communicate with them.
Yeah.
That's how it's easier to coach them.
Yeah.
That's coaching in the sport that they love and care about.
Yeah. That's good.
Right?
That's good.
When it comes to life stuff,
Mm-hmm.
how important is your life to you?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How important is, your health?
Mm-hmm.
Like how important is, like who you are, your mantra,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like, so to me, I've always understood that because of the way we were brought up
Mm-hmm.
and the sports that I played and the mentors that I had, but again, like, just because I have that view doesn't mean everybody else does. So I got to be able to communicate that and develop trust. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. You have to put the time in. You got to put the effort into showing people how much you love them and care about them, and letting them know that they're it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay to struggle. It's okay to I'm the same. Being vulnerable, being transparent. These things lead to an opportunity and give you an opportunity to speak to people.
Absolutely. And here's the other thing too. If you think about it like this, we all need coaches. We all need guidance. We all need help.
Right.
Think about Tiger Woods.
Oh yeah.
LeBron James, all the great athletes and entertainers, period.
Yeah.
All of them have coaches. They're the best to ever do whatever it is that they do.
Mm-hmm.
But they still have coaches because their coaches help them in their weak areas, right?
Uh-huh.
Tom Brady, the greatest quarterback to ever do it, to ever throw a football, right? In the offseason, he still goes to his quarterback coach.
Dude. Yep.
And who throws a football better than Tom Brady?
Exactly.
Right? So, you know what I'm saying, so to speak. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you mean.
But he still has to go to this guy to be like, hey, man, so how can I tighten this up? How can I do a little bit better? What blind spots do you see that I have that I'm not noticing? Because
Right.
if you knew it, you don't know what you don't know.
Right.
And if you knew better, you would do better. So let somebody speak into your. So here's the thing. My brand, I can go ahead and release it here. My personal brand that I'm working on and trying to build it represents what I stand for, what I believe, and what I push out all the time when I'm having conversations with people.
Right.
And I want to share it with everybody now is, so let's say you're in a maze or in a jungle. I use the same analogy every time because people can instantly imagine themselves in a forest or something like that. So that saying that says you can't see the forest for the trees is you're too close to it. It's right up in your face. And if you had to navigate your way out of a jungle that you hadn't been in before, if you had to try to find your way out of a maze that you've never been in before, it's almost impossible without wasting a whole lot of time and energy, not to mention the stress and anxiety that you feel and the fear that you feel like, am I ever going to get out? Is there a way out? I don't even know if anything leads to me getting out. I don't even know where I'm at, what's going on. I could be here forever. But if you can take that same person that's in that maze or in that jungle, and if you can some kind of way raise their perspective so that they can see a bigger scope, have a panoramic view of what's going on, then they can see, oh, okay, I see that there's an oasis over there. I can see that there's a little path over here. In this maze, okay, I can see if I go here, I'm going to get stuck. But if I take this route, I can get out.
Right.
If you can raise somebody's perspective, raising their perspective gives them hope. It gives them motivation. It gives them something to hold on to. And then if you bring it back down in that same situation, it's like, okay, although I'm in the same place that I started, my perspective has changed.
Right.
So now my outlook,
man, that is powerful.
has changed because of my inward. Like I know there's hope because I've seen it. So my whole mantra, my whole life mission, at least for this season of my life, is raise your perspective in every aspect, whether it be in business, whether it be in any aspect of life, whether it be personal, mental. Like if you can just find a way, and the way you raise your perspective, there's a lot of ways you can do it. Is by, like we've been talking about, having a coach, somebody to see something, to speak into your life, something that you haven't seen before. Reading books, watching videos, you know what I'm saying? Just doing something different. Talking to other people that have been in your same situation. Hey, man, I was once lost. I was in that same maze that you were in. Let me tell you how I got out. That, in fact, is raising your perspective. If you can raise your perspective, because a lot of times, I believe that there's always a solution. There's always a reason for hope. I believe as long as you have breath in your lungs, you can make it. You just have to figure it out. You have to be a professional problem solver. So in that, my brand is Raise Your Perspective, RYP, and I call it, and I pronounce it RIPE. And I tell people all the time that they need to ripen up. Oh, that's all you got to do. So think about any situation, anything that you're going through that's tough, that's hard. You might be stuck in a rut in anything. if you can ripen up, if you can raise your perspective, sometimes that's all you need is that wind underneath your sails, that sharp dash of hope or whatever to change your mental. And then it's like, okay, now I have the energy to move on. I have the motivation. I have the encouragement. I have a reason to keep moving because I know there's a way out.
Yeah.
So that's it right there. So I'm coming out with shirts and all that stuff like that.
That's
so,
awesome, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
Raise your
awesome,
perspective.
man.
Ripen up, man.
That.
So with that being said, I think a lot of us, like the parent, going back to your story, the parent of the child that didn't get a reward, that lady needs to ripen up. Look at the bigger picture.
Absolutely.
What are you really doing? What's going on?
Absolutely.
She has to work on her. She needs to ripen up herself. Her child is going to be okay as long as you don't damage the growth, the ripening of that fruit right there.
It's tough, though. I mean, parents that, they love their child. They know their child. They sleep, in the same house, and they have conversations with that child. So they know more about what that child's going through than I could ever know.
Mm-hmm.
The hard part for me was coaching, was trying to convince the parents that I was on their side.
Yeah.
So the information that they had, I needed to know as well. Because if they tell me what's going on with their child, then I know what to speak to.
Yeah.
I know how to help. And together, we can help this child become a young man.
Yeah.
Right? And I think that's really important overall to find that balance, man. I really love the RIPE thing, or RYP. I love that. That's awesome.
Well, here's the thing. You just talked about helping that child become a young man. Let's talk about that real quick because in today's society, it's a really hot button topic to talk about the difference between masculinity and femininity. Yeah, right. And it's something that I think we just need to talk about.
Yeah, we touched on it a little bit in the last episode, and I'm here for it. I'm ready to go into it, man. And I think the way I would like to start this conversation is asking you. I mean, as a man who's raising a daughter and a son, how, I don't know, what do you think a little bit about this whole masculinity versus femininity thing? Like, how do you feel about all of it? How do you feel about watching your kids grow up, in this culture right now, where it's not really, they're trying to like blend it all together and
gender fluid society.
How do you feel about it personally?
So it's a touchy subject, right?
Right, of course.
So for me, I think we have to scale it back a whole lot, first of all. And I'm a big person that always starts with how you define things, right? So we think about what it means, to be masculine, what it means to be feminine. But before that, I like to take a little bit further back because right now we having issues with, and I use the word issues just for the sake of the conversation, we're having struggles defining what a man and a woman are, right? And I'm not trying to get into that per se, but just follow with me what I'm saying is. I think some of these words like man, woman, husband, wife, boy, girl, need to be defined and then reintroduced into society.
Okay.
So what I mean by that is every male, every boy is not a man. I think the word man is something that has to be earned. So because what does it mean to be a man, right? So to me, a man is a graduation from a boy to a man that you gain by showing a repetitive and consistent form of responsibility, right? So to be a responsible male, and there's other things that go with it also, are the seedlings or is the entranceway to being a man, right? Just like every male or every boy is not a husband,
right?
There's certain prerequisites and pre-qualifiers that it takes to be considered a husband or a wife. It's the same thing to be considered a man. You have to be responsible to be a man. If you can be 57 years old and still be a boy.
Yeah.
In my book. Same thing with a woman.
Yes.
Right. And here's the other thing too. And I haven't even talked about being a gentleman.
Right.
Yet,
oh yeah.
Right. So like I think we take these words and we kind of clump them up and be like, you a man, you supposed to be masculine, you a boy, and it's like, hold on, y'all, what are we even talking about right now? What does that even look like? So the same thing with women. In order for you to be a woman, there's a certain level of response. So first of all, are you a responsible male or female? Let's start there. Right. So like, I don't even know, like the whole male and female thing, that's a whole nother thing. We talked about a little bit, gender versus sex and everything. But like, strip all that back. That don't even matter. Are you responsible?
Yep.
First of all, have you earned the title to be called a man or a woman? Have you earned the title to be called a lady or a gentleman? Have you done what it takes to be considered a husband or a wife? Have you done what it takes to be considered any of these things? Right. So I think we need to start right there first, right? How you feel about that?
No, I understand that. I think that like that's talking about growth, and it's talking about becoming, seasoned, responsible, handling things you're supposed to handle, doing what you're supposed to be doing. And that's just growth. That has nothing to do with gender or none of that.
And let me say this real quick too while I'm thinking about it. There's one thing to be a dad and a father. Just like the difference between a house and a home. Like Luther said, a house is not a home.
A house not a home.
You know what I'm saying? A house is not a home.
Yeah.
So just because you had a part to play in producing a child
doesn't
make you a father.
Yep.
Because that word father means provider.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
So let's start. I don't even care about all this masculinity, femininity stuff. We got bigger fish to fry, in my opinion. We got a whole bunch of boys masquerading around as men that haven't earned that title. I'm a grown-ass man. You know what I'm saying? Okay, because you got a beard and you got a mortgage, that make you a grown-ass man?
Yeah.
Come on, bro. And you got 12 kids running around here.
Come on.
I'm going to say it. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
and I'm not,
out,
and I'm not
that's
perfect.
The thing. And I'm going to be real with you, man. That's the thing about, misrepresentation, right? Like, like the thing about the people who are upset about, men in general is because of their misconception of the men that they've seen before them, the men that they've seen in their lives, right? So like if they see guys who are claiming to be men doing things that are not, respectable at all, then all men are like, oh, all men are trash, all men are dogs, all men are this, all men are that, because of the bad example being set by somebody else. I think that ultimately, like, people respect people who are good, right? Who are kind, who are gentle, who are natural leaders, who are, all these positive traits. Man, woman, doesn't even matter. People respect people who do the right thing.
Yeah, that's good.
Right? So I think that, like, a lot of times women who say, I hate men, it's just like, okay, you've ran into some situations where these people have done the wrong thing to you. You are hurt by that. I get that. I understand that. But all men are not created equal.
Right.
Like we all have different, upbringings and we've all become different versions, better versions of ourselves over time. And it takes all that stuff we were talking about earlier, raising your perspective, being, willing to grow, willing to change, willing to challenge yourself, willing to have people speak into your life to be better. Like, all those things help you become a better person. And I think that if you just lump all people into one thing, you're not really giving people the opportunity to be themselves. You're cutting out a group of people because of your own issues. Not that you have an issue, but the things you've seen before does not mean that everybody's the same way.
Yeah.
Growing up, it was important to be a good man.
Yeah.
It was important to lead and to take care of my family and take care of my people. And like, it was important for me to be a gentleman. It's important for me to take care of my sisters. I'm the only grandson my grandmother had at the time, for most of my life. So like, being the grandson, I had to make sure that all the women knew that I was going to take care of them. And it wasn't like a prideful thing of like, do this, respect me, because it was none of that. It was like, I want to do what I can to make sure you guys are safe.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when people talk to me about, the good things that I may do when it comes to protecting women in my life, like, they see me, I feel safe around you, man.
Yeah.
And that's important to me.
That is important.
And like, to me, like, that's something I'm proud of as being a man.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, yes, I empathize. Yes, I listen. Yes, I can do all that stuff. But at the same time, I provide.
Yeah.
And I make sure everybody feels safe. That's important.
Bro.
Like, it ain't about, like,
that's good.
do I take out the trash? It ain't about, like, it's not about that stuff. You know what I mean?
Here's the thing. When we talk about defining and filling in the blanks to what it means to be a man, because here's the thing. The reason why the issue of masculinity versus femininity is such a hot button topic and it's so skewed right now, it's because we have a lot of boys that are representing themselves as men, right?
Yes.
So the wrong people are showcasing
in the front lines.
what it means to be a man. So that's not what it is. If you've been in the presence of a real man, a real woman, so I'm gonna unpack it a little bit. What does it mean to be a real man? Like I said, I talked about being responsible, right? So being responsible with your emotions and other people's emotions around you. Being mature in thought and in deed, right? Being a protector, having people feel safe. Here's the thing. One thing I learned about women is they love more than anything to feel safe. They don't want to take as much risk. They don't want to be in volatile situations. And that doesn't make them weak. And I'm gonna say most women, I think, would agree with me when I say that. Like, you want to be in a safe and secure situation. Who doesn't? Period. Just people. So, like you just said, like, there have been a lot of women that hate all men. Like R. Kelly said, we can't go an episode without talking. One man can make one woman hate all men. So here's the thing.
Yeah.
That's almost true. It's one boy can make one woman hate all men.
Yep.
Because it's like, okay, this is what a quote unquote man is supposed to be.
Yep.
He hurt me.
Exactly. And
he did not take care. He did not make me feel safe. He didn't protect my heart. He didn't protect my emotions. He didn't protect my dignity. None of this stuff. He was selfish. He did all this stuff. None of that stuff right there that I just mentioned are attributes of a real man. Mm-hmm. Right. So we have people, like I said, we have boys masquerading as men, calling themselves masculine, saying this is what it means to be like. And no one of the women are like, man, whatever.
Exactly.
Like, forget the whole masculine movement.
Exactly.
I don't need no man.
Exactly.
Right. Now, hold on. Go ahead.
No, exactly. And that's where I'm at with it, because I think I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I understand the pain. I understand the hurt.
Yeah.
I understand the trauma. I understand it. And I don't want to make you feel like that stuff's not real, or that stuff's not. I mean, like, I get it. But at the same time, there are men out here.
Yeah.
And when you meet one, you know it. And that's the thing. Like, I think that we can respect it and respect each other and give each other opportunities to be better. And this is not, when it comes to this conversation, I'm talking to the women right now, but really my plea isn't for you. Even though I can make fun of things and be the light of it, I know they got the Miley Cyrus song they singing right now. I can buy myself flowers. I can do. I used to play off the Bruno Mars song and all that. And I know you can do all that stuff, but it's not the same as if somebody who loves and protects and cares for you does those same things for you. The reason why that song is even relevant is because somebody hurt somebody else.
Yeah,
like somebody hurt that girl, took advantage of her, and told her all these lies and stuff like that. That she was special, that she was whatever, but to that person, he was just using that woman, right? Mm-hmm. And that's why the song comes out and women resonate with that. And yeah, rah, rah, rah. And I'm like, yo, I get it, but I'm not choosing to live this out like this is gonna be. It's not gonna be like this forever.
Right.
I'm gonna find people who I can trust. I'm gonna find people who I can love. I'm gonna find my people. I'm gonna be all right. You know what I mean? Because I know my worth. Mm-hmm. I know my self-worth. Mm-hmm. I know what it is. So, like, to the women, know your self-worth and be the best version of yourself. I give you all the love and credit for who you are. You women are strong and beautiful and powerful, and I give you all the love. And when it comes to these boys masquerading as men, yo, it's time to grow up. Straight up. I mean, like, there's a time and a place for that childish stuff, man. We always gonna be boys. We always gonna do what guys do. But at the end of the day, being a man is if being a man is about having integrity. It's about having confidence in yourself, and it's about leading with with some humility.
Yeah,
you feel me? So like, if you can learn how to do those things and challenge yourself and be responsible, then we can kind of put the cork back in the bottle. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, we can get things back to where they're supposed to be.
And think about this. There's a little bit of perspective also in our everyday vernacular. When I like, hey, Dre, that's my boy. You know what I'm saying? So, or like, that's my homegirl right there. Yeah. So check this out. Let me show you something real quick with that. So that is the right way to say that, because when you are on a guy's trip and you with your homeboys, that is a time where you don't have to be as responsible. Yeah. You don't have to be like, you can come out of that manship. You can take that hat off and put back on your cap backwards and be like, hey, we boys right now. And we know what that means. Yes, that's my homegirl. I can cut up with her. Because when you're on your girl's trip, you're not a mother. Yep. You're not a wife. I mean, you got vows and stuff. But you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have, there's different responsibilities, right? And like you said, there's a time and place for all that stuff. Yep. You know what I'm saying? So, like, there's a time and place for that. Yep. But most of so here's another thing, too, in that same vein. You don't hear women calling their significant others, oh, my boy is calling. Oh no, it's no, my man is calling. Yeah. And that's something, because that's something he earned. Yep. When somebody say that's my man or that's my woman right there, like, nah, bro, that's me. Yep. That's my woman right there. You said that's something that she's earned, right? You have to earn that, right?
And it's beautiful, man.
So that's the whole
hearing that. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing, and when you have it, you know what I mean. It's a special thing to have, and I respect. People who have, they do it differently. And I'm not knocking anybody. I obviously have as many friends as I have, that live their lives a little bit different. And they have, different significant others and whatnot. Like, it's still the same spirit. Yeah. It's still the same spirit. Yeah. You can call it, the gender, whatever you want to call it. It's still the same spirit. We're being responsible. We're being the best version of ourselves that's to be respected.
It is, man.
You know, we want to earn these trophies, right? You know what I'm saying?
That's
we don't
good.
want to be given to us. You know what I mean? So like, you know, I think that's the right spirit. That's the right attitude. And I think that ultimately, you know, when it comes to this conversation, you know, we just got to hold each other accountable more. I think that's what it is. Instead of, I'm not saying don't sing about your pain and struggles and stuff like that.
Yeah. We get some of our greatest R&B songs from that.
Exactly.
Keep doing what you do.
Please keep doing that.
Use your outlet. We need that. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, Whitney.
That stuff is healing. That stuff is important to us. But
it is. And here's the other thing too. So with that being said, when we talk about the difference between men and women and how we define it and stuff, so that's why I don't really subscribe to toxic masculinity.
No, I hate that.
I think that's not what it is. I understand what it is, what people are saying, but let's call it what it really is. It's really immature men. I mean, immature boys is what it is. So a real man is not toxic. A real man will take care of you. And then here's the other thing too. I do believe, and I might get some people upset with this, I do believe in a home there is a hierarchy, right? Like with husband and wife, men and women and stuff like that. But I think that once we fully understand and unpack what roles are, no matter how you want to play them, whatever you decide the role to be, because you have some men that are stay-at-home fathers. If that works for you, that's great. That's awesome. But the thing is, there has to be a little bit more communication and hard lines and clear lines about who's doing what, who's playing what role. Most of the time, because of how men are wired, they get the brunt of the physical stuff, and it's like a 51-49% equity in the household. Because you see what I'm saying? Most of the time, right? And I'm just speaking in huge generalities, but this is what I subscribe to, and this is what we do in our house, and most of my friends and network do. But at the end of the day, once again, talking about a man does not abuse his power. A man, better than that, a man does not abuse his position, his role. Because just because a man is the head of the house in most cases doesn't mean that he has more power. That means that he's more important. Doesn't mean that he's whatever. It's just, this is the role I'm playing. I'm going to do it to the best of my ability to make sure that I'm providing for everyone. And then the wife or the woman, and her role might be even more important and takes a little bit more strength because she has to be there under the guidelines of whatever the role, you know what I'm saying? So like, there's a little bit more of a submissiveness that goes into that takes more strength than what it takes to be a man. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It takes a lot more humility to listen and follow and carry out if you're a CEO and you have to report to the boss, that's tougher to do, right? Yeah. And check this out, the CEO runs the whole company. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, so I don't want to get off into all that, but you see where I'm coming from.
Exactly where you're coming from,
so let's try to get away from, like, I understand toxic masculinity and feminists and people get upset about all that stuff. But let's scale it back a little bit. Let's start from there and then revisit this conversation. Let's see how things pan out.
Yeah.
Right?
I think that at the end of the day, we all want the same thing. And I think that, you know, when it comes to – no, I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like we want to be loved, respected, and I think –
that's it.
Like, that's really what it's about. I mean, if you want to get into, like, you know, your self-worth, if we can't do this, we can't – I didn't say anybody can't do anything.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, be whoever you want to be, and – I'll support you. I got your back. Yeah. You know what I mean? And so when we got into this conversation a little bit at the end of the last episode, you know, I could tell it could have went sideways a little bit, but it's not really meant for like I believe in humanity, man. I believe in people. And I believe that, you know, we don't have to be so against each other. Yep. I think that doesn't have to, we don't have to I don't care if it's race, I don't care if it's gender, I don't care if it's religion, I don't care what it is. We don't have to be at odds. Mm-hmm. We don't have to. We can figure it out. I can learn to love you for you. You can learn to love me for me. Yeah. And we can figure this thing out, and we'll be better people because of it. So,
and the last thing I want to say is, let's level up. Let's raise our perspective and lower our being. So let's be humble with a raised perspective, and just love each other. You know what I'm saying? Live life from that perspective. And I think we're going to be in a lot better shape.
Love it, man. Cool. Love it.
All right, man. It's been another DeAndre talk. I almost said react.
Yeah, DeAndre talk, man. Thank you guys for listening, man. I hope you guys enjoyed.